All right, welcome back to Going Corn, Season 2, Episode 10 or 11. Now I've kind of lost it a little bit, Caleb, but that's okay.
A lot more than the strike zone.
Okay, starting off hot again with the strike zone takes. We were going to do a strike zone where we were on their podcast during Nationals. Sorry to everyone who was planning on that one, but it just didn't work out. You know, you always kind of plan those things out. And then when you get to the hotel,
good in theory, and then Greg 6 Yinglings later.
Okay, no, it didn't. Brett got back at 1 a.m. It's not my fault.
Throwing Brett under the bus. Here we go.
And you. Oh yeah, I want to go to bed. I'm tired.
Yeah, I was tired.
Yeah, me too. No, that was before Nationals.
We had Nationals the next day. We had practice.
Talking about practice. Anyway, so there's my co-host, Caleb. How you doing today, bud?
Great.
I don't have a whoop-de-doo intro for you this time, but that's okay. He's a little flustered. He's a little stressed out. It's a busy month for Caleb. He's playing a lot of wiffle ball. Lots and lots of wiffle ball. But anyway.
This is not my podcast. I'm going on mute. Next question.
Anyway, so real quick, before we jump into Leroy stuff, we want to talk about that tournament that we went to. I was able to go Friday and Saturday. Came back, had to do some stuff back here. Everyone knows, but
no, I don't think everyone knows.
Yeah, I was playing Pokemon. Non-transferable ticket that I couldn't get a refund for.
There were 3 or 4 people willing to pay for the ticket,
and you still finished second without me.
Could have finished first if you were there.
Yeah, totally. Yes, because that would have made a difference. But anyway, I wanted to give my thoughts a little bit on the tournament. Caleb, you can give your thoughts from a coach perspective and just being around the Griffle Ball guys more. You know, we were around them a lot more this time because regionals, like we kind of saw them, but we didn't really. Like, you know, we saw them for the day, but we didn't eat lunch together. We kind of, you know, did our own thing. We got there late. We left right after regionals were done, and they stayed up there. Man, I tell you, I love those guys.
Yeah.
Every one of those guys is a great guy. I mean, I really didn't understand, like, just meeting them last year, but, man, a lot of fun times, a lot of tough battles. That sun was rough. It was like 95 degrees. It was really humid. And so I want to talk about something real quick. I'm not going to highlight over this a whole lot, but it's been a talk of a lot of Twitter stuff. A lot of people have reached out to me, and that's we played a team. But this, and I think this is, it comes back to Caleb, so it comes down to, like, this is the reason I really appreciated those Griffle Ball guys even more. So there was a team we played. I mean, if you know the situation, you know what team it was. I'm not going to mention
WSCM.
Okay, there you go. We were up early against their best pitcher. We were up 6-0 in the first inning, you know, which is, you know, as a 3-time champion, that was a big game for us because
they've never been down by that many.
No, when we got into double elim, we knew the road, and like everyone was like, we still played against BWAX because, you know, we still pitched Caleb, but that game, just going into that was that was a big game. That was 4-5 right there, seeding wise, and we won 13-2. Now during the game, there's a lot of comments made from the bench, and I'm not going to get into all of it, but it was some personal attacks made against me and made against some other people on the team, Kyle Lidster, and, you know, we tried our best to avoid it for the longest time, but, you know, but those guys stuck up for us. Jackson went over that bench after the game. Tucker, you know, got back at them, you know, by saying, you know, it just showed me the character of the guys that we were with, and, you know, I hope that we can move past this. I mean, I hope they learn something from it. I know I did. So, anyway, I just wanted to mention that real quick. I don't want to spend a lot of time. I'm kind of over it. I know a lot of people are like, still talking about it and still whatever. And I just want people to know it's not just me that was a problem with. It was the teammates too, when they start taking shots at multiple people in their appearance and characters, and that just kind of bugged me. So I just wanted to mention it. Caleb, can you give us some lights on some of the better things that happened throughout the tournament since you were playing every inning?
Yeah, I played a lot of wiffle ball. Saturday, Sunday. Man, you can't really sum up I guess the best way to put it is that when you go into battle with that group of people, with a group of people like that, and play that many close, high intense games, and you win, there's just something that you can't explain that just happens between that group of people that brings them closer. It's like a cohesion that you don't really see. And he felt that in the beat-ups, and you weren't there for that, but in the beat-ups after the tournament on our way home, we all looked around, and we were all talking and joking with each other, and we all knew that there would be a bond there that wasn't going to be separated very easily again. And that's what happens when you compete and play with each other at a high level and you win. I mean, you look up and down the roster at, Tuck, Bogus, Bartley, Buzz, Rat, me, Brett, Lidster, T-Walk, Greg, and Eric. And you just look at that team, and it's everybody played a role that weekend in that second place finish. And no, everyone talks we didn't have the horses to finish, but to get to where we were, I mean, you think about how many things we had to do.
I mean, we two of our players got injured.
Yeah,
that was the thing too.
Yeah, I mean, but to hit like we did against WSEM, and then to hit like we did against La Valley, and to be where we were against Will, and then for me to throw the game that I threw against AWAA and gut that one out, and then just to come back and lose in the championship. I mean, we made it way further than anyone expected, and I'm really proud to be a part of that team. But yeah, I mean, there were so many positives from the weekend. You get to talk to so many cool people and connect over wiffle ball, and I think that's what has to remain the focus, is that at the end of the day, if you win the whole tournament, the biggest prideful thing you get to take away from it is that you carry about a $30 golden cup out. So, and if people weren't involved and invested to care about leagues and wiffle ball and something that brings us all together, then we missed the point, which is kind of why I did what I did on Twitter, because it was just getting kind of old that, everyone was fighting and stuff, and I was just like, you know what?
Yeah.
I mean, some positive. There were so many good things that happened,
and that's what I've told. Multiple people reached out to me because of the situation, because they just they look at it as me being attacked, and the thing was, I've told this to people. I love everyone at that tournament I've met. That was the first time. It just shocked me that happened, that they acted like that. But I mean, there's like you said, there's so many fun things about that weekend. Just goofing off on the All-Star game and the home run derby with the guys, and
get off it.
Yep. A few B Nobles in there, a bunch of fun times. A lot of big games, like you said. A lot of, we came back against Kalamazoo, and that was tough especially after we got that tie against Ridley, because we could have easily given up the lead there and lost. And
right. Well, I think if we're going to talk about strategy a little bit, or what we saw from a performance perspective, I think the biggest thing that it did for GBL is that it proved to all those guys and us too that we have a team that has the ability to win a championship.
Oh, yeah.
Because even talking with T-Walk, it was evident that last year that group of guys kind of had a false confidence in what they could do, but between adding me and Brett, and then being together and more and practicing. I mean, we went to that tournament, and now if we keep that group intact, we know that. And the other thing is that now you got to take us seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, 'cause we can beat anybody.
Yep.
We can beat
We've
anybody.
proved that. We beat the big dogs in WSCM. We beat AWA twice.
Right.
With the whole matchup between NWL Player of the Year and a Palisade stud. That was a big thing in that last game too. That was one of those games for the ages. And
right. Well, and that's the thing I love about this team more than anything is that you talk about our team, and to be honest, our team has never mentioned having a top 5 player in the tournament. Whenever it was talked about before it, we don't have a top 5 pitcher, and we don't have an ace. We don't have this. We don't have that. But somehow, some way, we find a way to fill in the cracks and come through in big moments, and that's what I loved. And everyone had one throughout the tournament, so it's a fun team to be a part of. We're chippy, we're gritty. I mean, and you know what? Hats off to Tyler Walk. He knows what he is as a manager. He uses the opinions and the input of other people, and he makes smart decisions. Tyler managed a great tournament as well.
And that's the thing. He grew a lot too, because I think he listened to everyone. He took in what that feedback was, but he also knew. I mean, we'd talk about the lineup, and he would already have an idea of it, and I was already on the same page with what he was thinking before he even told me. I think he finally started to come into more confidence as a manager.
Yeah.
Of the team, and that was great to see too.
It was.
Him being confident in making roles and knowing who is there to help him, and
right.
Trusting Eric to go out there and talk to his brother or you or me talk to you and all this stuff. So that's the one thing So I know it seems kind of like a hoo-ha parade here for Griffle Ball, but I really do. I hope everyone listens to this. I hope a lot of NWLA people listen to this and Griffle Ball people, because it's true. I mean, these guys really have changed kind of how we thought about the national scene and what we can do, and just they've proven their character. So and
for I really am happy for those guys, because I could see it even when we were talking about coming over to play in the off season, that the wear of the bad finishes back to back had it on them, and for them to be able to be in the spot that we're at now. And you know what, our partnership with GBL, and you know what, we used to take pride in the term partnership. Like, to me, I have such a deeper relationship with them than a partnership.
No,
I mean, it's not even like now we're partnering leagues. We're all one. It's one. It really, I hate that cliche saying one Indiana, but it really is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not. Yeah, we play different styles in different places, but you go to each one of these places to play, and you are really close with at least 10 people there.
Well, and that's the thing, even those Indy Southside guys, we were rooting for them. They were rooting for us. Like,
right.
We have a good relationship with everyone, and I think that's something that's grown over the years, too. And we only have met these Indy Southside guys, a couple times, but they're a bunch of great people, too. So, So, I mean, we'll, in the coming months, I'm sure we'll talk about it again. I'm sure next year we'll mention it a little bit, but yeah, it was fun to see. So let's talk about some Leroy stuff here. We're going to move in. So last week, not a lot of exciting stuff really happened.
No.
I mean, a couple teams moved here and there.
Right.
Narwhals went 1-1, kind of same stuff. Yeah. Anything you saw from last week? Anything special that stood out?
I mean, the only really, really exciting stuff happening is going to be the roster hustle or scramble to get a team together by the time we start the playoffs, because
that was a big story going into this week.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
The Sultans are now...
The Sultans had one good.
The Sultans are now the Sultans of Rhinehout. So that's good.
So, Yeah. So let's jump into next week here then. So let's talk about those roster moves. There's a lot of moves today. Man, let's see. What was first? I traded Luke Prince away. And then he promptly wants to play for the team he got traded to, the Dusters. So I got Neil Kruzwick back, and I dropped him to Mike Kermit and then signed Mike Feeney. Let's look at some of these other moves. Kyle Schaff got traded to the Clams for Josh Schmitz. Micah was dropped for Grant Reinhout. What else here?
Clams signed Andrew Sitter and signed Jeremy Ross. The Sluggers dropped Malloy and add Sitter to their Kermit, and the Dusters signed Alex Friedman to their Kermit, who now is playing for the Sluggers this week. And then I signed Joey Rivera and Micah Hescott to my Kermit. So a lot happened. A lot of teams being strategic and positioning themselves with options come playoff time in case something happens. What's interesting is in Leroy is that playoffs are flex scheduling, so this can always be an interesting.
It's going to be a weird thing, too. Just like sidebar. We got to get that death bracket thing in on that Wednesday. Yeah. And then he says there's going to be like that whole next week to play that next series. Yeah. But that's like, that doesn't make sense because then whoever's at 1 seed is going to be behind like a week. You know what I'm saying? Like, everyone's just going to be pushed back. Like it's going to be like 2 weeks until the next round is played. So hopefully we can figure that out. Yeah. Maybe play on a Monday or something and then play on a Wednesday,
I think he's
Thursday.
only playing the death bracket games Wednesday. No one else is playing.
Well, no, the rest of the teams have from that Monday till the following Friday to play. So they have a 2-week gap to get the first series in. Right. The death bracket will be played on Wednesday, though.
What, a week and a half?
Yeah, so let's say I win the death bracket, which I will, and I play you, which is most likely scenario. I play on the Wednesday, and then before the following Friday...
Well, that's not a big deal.
We have to play our first round series.
Right.
And then no one else can play, though.
What are you talking about?
So,
If everyone has to get that first series in from that Monday to that Friday, then the only thing that is hurt by that is the delay that the death bracket will take.
Yeah.
To that Wednesday.
But I'm saying then... Well, then it slows everything down because then let's say the 2 and 4 seed can't play, or the 2 and 3 seed can't play because.
Well, this is only an issue then if everyone schedules their games within the first week.
Yeah. Well, but most people are going to try and do that because people are going back to college.
But that's the point of flex scheduling, though.
I know, but never mind. We're on 2 different pages here. But anyway, we rambled on that for like a good 45 seconds. Okay. So, man, I'm out of it tonight.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, you are too. So let's not.
I'm not.
Yeah.
What you were saying was making no sense.
So, starting next Monday.
So the issue with what you're talking about is saying that it's going to hold everything up.
Yes.
So,
what if everyone decides to play on Wednesday?
Okay.
They want to play next Wednesday, their first round series.
You're assuming everyone's going to do that. It's flex scheduling for a reason.
I know, but most people are going to want to do it that first week.
How do you know? Have you asked?
Look at the scheduling last year. Everyone either played Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
We didn't have a death bracket.
I know, but everyone played Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Okay, and even if we have to wait an extra few days, how does this affect your team? Well, what are we beefing about?
I'm not beefing about it.
Well, you're making this into be a big ass argument when it affects neither of us because none of our people are in college.
It would affect you if you were 1.
Well, how?
Never mind.
This was the biggest waste of a minute and a half we've had on this podcast.
Oh no, we've had a lot of wasteful things on this podcast. We've had Bo Hofstra on this podcast. We've had your brother.
I didn't even re-listen to that.
Yeah, that's good.
That's how mad I was. You gave that clown the win.
Yeah, I was afraid he was going to kill me. So plus he had good points. So
no, he didn't. He didn't answer a complete question.
Moselle was the dad of the league.
He did not answer the question. Greg, you gave it to someone who chose to not answer a question.
You got the point for that one. You got the point for that one.
Blooby dooby doo.
Yeah.
Zooby doo. All right,
Dick. So
next week. No, it's gonna be playoff. There's like 80 different.
We'll talk about this in our playoff preview.
Oh yeah, that's right. We're not doing that yet.
So, the lineups for this week, tomorrow. Today, if Greg decides to get this out soon enough.
Tim has already promoted that you will.
I didn't see that tweet. I didn't see that. So anyway, so you got 6 o'clock. You got Sliders at Dusters with a lineup of Moselle, Quinn, Alex Clark, the super fan, and Dave Busick. This is some crap. I'm gonna rant for a minute here.
Oh dear.
How does the Sliders go from in about 45 minutes, mind you, go from having Alex Friedman to Matt Miller to now David Busick? That makes sense. And then the Dusters are going to have Marty Rosala, John Eddingenberg, Luke Prince. Oh, yeah, he finally is on a team that wins, I guess. And Rob Warren. So, who do you got in that matchup?
Whatever team Rob Warren is on.
The Dusters?
Yeah.
Okay. You're paying a lot of attention. So, Badgers are going to have Wes, Jared, Barnes, and Shane going against Alec, Caleb, Hayworth, and Deckinga. The Liners. I don't know. Could be a tough matchup.
Liners
could be another close game. Yeah, I think the Liners
going to give up 8 runs.
Okay. Bold statements.
It's all facts.
The Narwhals, surprising lineup here, will have Jackson, Vince Carullo, Mitch Gerlach, and Mike Feeney. No Greg in the lineup tomorrow. Against the Truckers, Gagliardi, Jeffrey, whatever his name is. It might be Jeffrey, it might be Joffrey. It's probably Joffrey. Ryan Vogus and Tim Wilcher. Who do you see winning that one? Yeah, you're going to say the Truckers, so why do I even ask? Anyway, I'm going to pick my team. I don't care anymore about being humble. I'm going to win, Tim. The Clams with Kevin Vrug, Miedema, Andrew Feldy, and Jeremy Ross. I didn't even look at this one before now. Did you see this?
No. Who? Say it again.
Kevin Vrug, Lucas Miedema, Andrew Feldy, and Jeremy Ross.
That's not a bad team.
And then they're playing Brett, Colin, Zeidema, and Chandler Kimmel for the Bombers.
Are you serious?
They are both 8-10 going into this week.
8-10?
Yep.
Jeez.
And then
I don't want to face a Bombers team in the playoffs.
Not a lot of people do. So Brett will be happy now that people took penalties this last week here and Eric could have avoided the penalties too. Eric and Jordan.
Eastbound and down, loaded up and trucking.
I mean, T-Walk could have played.
True.
But I don't know. Spherical objects.
No idea.
Anyway. And then the Hawaiians have one game tomorrow. They're playing Tucker, Warner, Cam, Verlon, and Chris Kotovas, whatever his name is.
I don't know how to
say it. The other super fan against Garrett Lytle, Eric Detmar, Brian Travis, and Al Friedman. It's going to be I think that's going to be a high-scoring matchup on PNC. I think
me and the Sluggers.
The Sluggers win.
This is not my podcast. I'm going on mute. Next question.
Oh, okay. You just want to avoid answering that, huh?
Again, next question.
Anyway, Bombers and Truckers in the 7 o'clock game on Harambe. I'll pick the Bombers.
Oh, interesting.
Wouldn't you?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Then we got Sultans at Dusters. John Eddingberg's going to pitch 2 innings against his old team. Oh, the Sultans line up for tomorrow. And
let's hear it.
Let me remind you, they only have 1 game, by the way.
True.
Get this. Kyle Reinhout leading off. Robbie Zanstra, Jack Hilligans, and Grant Reinhout. The Tapper brothers are on the same team.
Oh, here we go.
And then Liners at Sluggers. We have the Liners taking that one because of I think Friedman's going to give up a lot of runs. You guys can hit off Brian Travis.
True.
Sliders and Narwhals. This, again, some crap that David Busick's in the lineup, but I still think we pull it out. And then the Badgers at Clams. Who do you got in that one? That could be interesting.
Clams.
Clams could be 10-10.
Clams.
And the Badgers could be 10-10.
That's Clam.
Who would win in the... I think Jared would still have the tiebreaker, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So that is how that would work there. That's the games. Caleb didn't input much. He's on the chat more so than paying attention to the podcast. So I think
like
that's
I said, this is not my podcast. I'm going on mute.
I think that's a good place to end it. We've been talking. This is a short show. We'll have more in our playoff preview coming up next week. So for this time, I'm Greg. That's Caleb in the spin. Going Corn. Oh, before I forget, shout out to our sponsors. Sponsor for the Indiana Wiffle Classic, Friedman Associates, and then we also have our other sponsors for the league, PNC Trucking and Metro Recycling. We also want to thank them for all their contributions.
You forgot Pizza Box.
Anyway, that's Gall, not us. Anyway, as I said again, this has been Greg. That's been Caleb.
See ya.
Thanks for listening.
See ya.